Everybody, welcome to the show. Mike is here today. Garrett is here. Hello, Garrett.
Howdy.
How you doing, pal?
I'm doing good today.
Is that a new guitar behind you, or is that
No,
your
that's my other
electric?
one. Yeah,
Oh,
that's my
that's
electric without stickers.
your electric. Right on.
Yep, camera's just in a different little position today.
Yeah. Is that a Squire?
Yep.
All right.
I got it when I was 9, and I still
Yeah.
rock it. I love
You ever
it.
going to learn how to play it?
One of these days.
I'm just
You've
kidding.
heard me play guitar before.
Yeah, you're not bad. Yeah, you've got some skills, some dexterity in the
The long
hands.
fingers.
Is that what it is?
Yep, that's all it is.
Yeah. Lot to get to today. I am really looking forward to the holidays. I don't know why. Thanksgiving was cool. I think Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday of all of them. You know, the gift aspect of other holidays, the prep of other holidays gets me where there's too much anxiety.
Yeah.
And so it kind of always, it's like, God damn it, Christmas. Do I have to get something for this kid, that like it's too much anxiety for me. Thanksgiving, it's just like football and food
Yeah.
is my
low pressure.
favorite. Yeah. Even Halloween, it's like, people going to become knocking on my fucking door? Like,
Yeah, it's like, do I have to sit in my living room all night and just wait?
yeah. But I'm really looking forward to, I'm going to scoot to California for, I think 2 weeks. I'm going to try to do 2 weeks and go see the kids and my sister and brother-in-law. And my mom and dad are going to be there, as there's snowbirds out there. So I'm really looking forward to that. But we got a couple shows to get through before we get into that season. Are you doing anything special? Are you getting out of time
Same
to
as
stick
every
around?
year. We just stick with family. All my family's in the area, so it helps.
Yeah, that helps a lot. I remember being
Yeah.
jealous of people that had that, all their aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, all that kind of stuff around, cousins.
I got to drive an hour out to my mom, but it's fine.
Yeah,
An hour
she's
is an
hot.
hour. I'm not
No,
flying
she's
anywhere.
smoking hot. It doesn't matter. It's fine. No problem with that. None.
That's still
Anyway.
my mom. That's not the reason I'm going out there.
Oh, yeah, it is. But that's okay. I get it. It's subconscious probably for you. The
Sure,
rest
it's
of us
Freudian.
recognize it.
It's just Freudian.
Yeah, it's Freudian. Exactly. It's in the subconscious. You're not playing
Right.
an active role in it, and the only reason for that is obviously because you're gay. Otherwise,
Yeah.
But yeah, lots to get to today. Pete Hegseth under fire. Some tramp trying to do some extreme porn thing. We'll get to that if we have any listeners that would like to get involved in that.
I think there's some
we
openings.
have what's that? Yeah, are there a few openings left?
I don't know. We can figure that out.
Yeah, we can. We'll get to that in a little bit. The Village people making comment about Trump using the song. I've got quite a few things, kind of an assortment of stuff. Some shooting in New York City is kind of wild. Missouri, I got that story last night. Missouri pulled the switch and nullified took the life force right out of this cat, Christopher Collings. He died by lethal injection, despite questions in the case. And I was like, ooh, what are the questions? As soon as I saw his picture, I was like, yeah, that dude's toast. Like, no one's going to a bat for a fucking middle-aged white man.
Yeah.
Like that dude's cooked. Like, you can't even lean on like, oh, he's gay or he's got a, trans girlfriend or something. What's that?
Look at Daniel Penny right now. His trial's going up and everybody's protesting it outside the courthouse.
If that guy, that's a tough one because that's one where you just want to break the rules to me. Like if that fucked up jury in New York City convicts him of that, I can't even tell you how pissed off I'll be. You can make an argument with the George Floyd one. I understand how people got ginned up in that. If you really watch the 45-minute interaction with George Floyd and the cops, if you pay attention to his previous encounters with the police, what was really going on there?
The fact that Chauvin and Floyd knew each other for a very long time over a lot of interactions. This wasn't just a random killing.
No, I don't even think it was a killing. I look at the Chauvin one and go, yeah, that dude's paying a price for something else. There's a lot more to the Chauvin George Floyd thing, let alone what it set off in the country. Daniel Penny is completely different. And, if they are able to convict him, this would be like Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Like I understand. It's very hard to spin this story, but it's New York City. Like, who knows what these whack jobs will come up with? But I don't. I think that's a state's crime. That's not a federal thing. So it's not like even that I'd be like, Trump, go in there and fix it. Snap your
Yeah.
fingers and pardon this son of a bitch. Let's not fuck around with this one. But I don't think that's the case in something like this. So the charges never should have been brought against Daniel
No.
Penny at all, ever. In
He
no
acted in the
existence.
definition of self-defense.
Yeah, and protection of, we want strong people looking out for people that can't look out for themselves. Women and children on a subway is a prime example, and it already sends the wrong message to people that don't want to get involved for fear of this kind of thing. So I think the damage is probably already done. But if you scapegoat this guy and throw him in prison, that is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It really is. In the face of all the testimony I've seen from people there, this is pretty cut and dry. Never should have been charges should have been brought. But if he was a black guy and choked out a white guy on that subway, there's no chance charges are brought. I mean, this comes into
Even
all of it, in my opinion.
Black guy and a black guy, I feel like he would have been all right.
Yeah. Oh, he would have been just fine. But the fact that you have a white male, Marine, toxic masculinity, he's probably part of the brosphere or whatever the fuck, manosphere, like all of the things that, they can take a target and attack, they do. Yeah. And so it'll be interesting. I think they're on day 2 of jury deliberations there. They've rested and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see where that goes. But this son of a bitch here in Missouri, Christopher Collings, was convicted back in I believe it was 2007. Yeah, in the killing of Rowan Ford, who was a 9-year-old girl. So the state of Missouri executed Chris by lethal injection last night. The state's Department of Corrections and his legal team confirmed. Collings was convicted, like I said, of killing Rowan Ford back at 2007. He did have final words. Right or wrong, I accept this situation for what it is. He wrote in a final statement. So usually I thought they let him. Final words I thought were spoken, but and some guys say go fuck yourself, or see you in hell. You really kind of have your moment there. Eat shit, that kind of thing. It's kind of cool. This guy said, to anyone that I have hurt in my life, in this life, I am sorry. I hope that you are all able to get closure and move on. Regardless which side of this situation you are on, you are in my prayers, and I hope to see you in heaven one day.
I don't think you're going to heaven, dude.
Regardless of which side of this situation, you mean the side of like, well, maybe the 9-year-old girl had it coming. I mean, I guess some people could be on that side. That would seem weird, but he is a murderer and more. We'll get into the finer details in a moment that led to this. But yeah, his final visit was with a spiritual advisor, Reverend Kristen Leslie, from 1103 to 1240. Wait, he got his last rites by a chick priest? Does that even count?
I don't think you get chick priests. Are those allowed?
I don't know. I mean, like, if I was sitting there, it'd be like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Really? My last rites are given by her? What? I'd be looking up going, this still counts, right? Like, he's listening up there. I mean, who knows how that went too?
I don't know.
He probably had to sit there for an hour and 40 minutes and listen to her complain about her current relationship.
It looks like a couple of the denominations of Christianity will allow women priests, but not all of them.
All right. I'll allow it. But yeah, she probably chirped his fucking ear off the whole time. Yeah, this guy I've been seeing lately he's been a real asshole.
Why do I have to read him his last rites? I mean, look what he did. It's just, what are you even doing here?
Yeah. So, I feel bad for him in that respect. I mean, if I'm going to have any sorrow in my heart for old Chris, it's that he got a woman priest. That's a bit. I might ask for a do-over in that case. I don't know if the prison system would grant that, but no offense.
What if he's one of those denominations that doesn't allow that, so he never got his last rites, and God's like, oh, sorry, dude.
Yeah, you didn't get him.
Wrong Christianity.
He could pray his way in. I think that's how that works. His final meal, we know what his final meal was, so we know his last words We know he got a chick priest. It's a little odd, but
All right.
his final meal consisted of a bacon cheeseburger.
Okay.
Not good for the cholesterol,
Who
to be
cares?
honest with you. Cheese and bacon, like that's always, every time I see these, I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
you're a walking heart attack waiting to happen. What are you doing? You know, it's hard though. I get it. I'm not
He's
afraid
in
of
a
a bacon
stressful
cheeseburger
situation.
myself. Breaded mushrooms, that ought to be a crime.
I love
You-
those.
What? You
Fried
do like?
mushrooms?
Oh, disgusting.
Oh, no, they're good.
Fucking disgusting. Like last meal, really? You don't go. I would go chicken strips, good ones, not frozen in a bag, sent across the country. I would go cheese sticks for sure with proper ranch. No, don't give me that squeeze bottle ranch bullshit.
Yeah, no Hidden Valley.
Hidden Valley. Yeah, no, the Hidden Valley. I'll use it under protest. But the Hidden Valley packets. And personally, I like the dips better than the sauce, the dressing. Some people like the dressing, the thinner. It's a little healthier for you, the dip one, believe it or not. I prefer that, but yeah, I don't mind the dressing that you make yourself. I don't mind that, but breaded mushrooms is inexcusable in my opinion. To each their own. I'm not going to tell the guy what to eat, but
yeah,
tater tots, love that call.
That's a decent one.
Tater tots, you really can't fuck up tater tots. I have yet to find the establishment that it's like, you know what? I was expecting more from the tater tots. Yeah. It feels like from elementary school through any restaurant you go to, tater tots are very, very easy. They're consistent. You know what you're getting. Fries vary wide, you know, a lot. There's a lot of, some restaurants do it right. And if you're traveling from, you know, I don't know if this was being driven in for him, like an Uber or something for his food, or if it was made in the mess hall. Huge difference. I would absolutely go with tater tots over fries. Yeah, smart move. You know, you don't want a soggy fry as you're going out. That would suck.
Yeah,
and then a chef salad, not bad. Throwing a little veggies in there. That's healthier. Smart.
He is trying to watch himself a little bit. I appreciate that.
Yeah. In a statement, his legal team said they shared Collings' desire that his death would provide closure, but said the execution was an act of vengeance. They described Collings as a gentle giant. Well, except for that one day back in 2007.
Yeah, like OJ, you know, he had one bad night.
One. And he'd worked hard to develop a relationship with his daughters. We will remember Chris with the fondest of memories for the person he truly was, and not the way he was characterized by those who did not know him. Well, I don't know much about him. I know him as the guy that killed the 9-year-old girl.
Yeah, I was going to say, you mean by a prosecution jury? Is that the targeting people?
Tonight, we say goodbye to our friend, but his generosity, kindness, and gentle spirit will live in our lives until we meet again. Both the U.S. Supreme Court and the Missouri Governor, Mike Parsons, denied his request to intervene for that execution. Legal team said the decision was incredibly disappointing, but entirely predictable. In each case of redemption, the governor has ignored the evidence and sought vengeance. Governor Parson purports to believe in redemption, but his grants of mercy seem to apply only to the privileged and politically connected. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so, you know, I wanted to know more about it. Is this guy, you know, did he? Yeah, there he is. So what was the deal here? So this goes back to November 3rd, 2007. I like to give context on some of these stories so you know was he, you know, I think there's a big difference between someone got, you know, drunk, maybe they've got a problem and they get into a car accident and they kill someone, you know, and it's you know, yeah, it's on you, it's your fault, you're going to do time for that, but you know, I'm not like, throw away the key and kill him, you know.
It wasn't malicious. It's not first degree.
Right. So this guy killed 9-year-old Rowan Ford, then a fourth grader. Okay. So this is Marshall's age. She was last seen at her home on November 3rd. Her mother, Colleen, reported her missing. Police as well as FBI conducted a large-scale search. She remained unknown whereabouts. 6 days later, in a rural part of McDonald County, Missouri, Ford's body was found inside a cave. At the time of the discovery, Ford, who was covered with leaves and debris, was nude from the waist down, wearing only one sock. Ford had a ligature mark around her neck, and there were injuries on her vagine area. Again, 9-year-old girl. An autopsy report found that she died due to strangulation. Oh, and by the way, she was raped before her death.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Police arrested 2 suspects. One of them was 25-year-old David Wesley Spears, who was Ford's stepfather. The other was Spears' friend, 32-year-old Christopher Leroy Collings. Prior to the murder, Collings had previously lived with the Ford family for several months during the summer and fall of '07. Collings slept in the basement, and Ford called him Uncle Chris. 9-year-olds are known to do that. Look up to people, befriend people, trust people. That's what they do. Collings grew fond of the little girl. Collings eventually moved into a family's farm area, and he was staying in a travel trailer on the farm, according to Collings' brother. Collings was separated from his wife, with whom he had 3 girls. I believe he had 3 children. I believe they were daughters.
Okay.
All of whom resided in Arkansas with mom. So they were like, yeah, let's get the fuck away from old Chris. Both men had confessed to their role behind the murder of Ford based on the confessions of Collings and Spears. It was the former who had abducted Ford. So the guy we're talking about that was killed, he abducts the little girl on the day of her disappearance and confided her in his trailer after some heavy drinking. After he took her back to the trailer, he raped the 9-year-old girl. And then he was going to take her back home. And he realized she saw his face. She caught a glimpse of his face. So can't have that. So that's when he took out a coil of chicken house rope from an old pickup truck, looped it around her neck, and strangled her to death. Spears was implicated because he helped dispose of the body. Yeah, that'll do it.
I've got a best friend who I do a lot for, but if he came to me with a 9-year-old he just raped and wanted me to dispose of the body, I'd just walk away.
Bridge too far?
That's a bridge too far. I love you, man, but oof.
Yeah,
not helping you on that one.
Yeah.
I think the help you're going to get is probably going to fucking jail.
Yeah. I think I agree with you there. I don't agree with you on much, Garrett, I'll be honest, but I think you and I are on the same page in this one.
Yep.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Spears the stepdad would then call the police and be like, oh, I don't know where the girl is. Can't find her. Let's report her missing. And claimed, oh, she just might be at a friend's house. That's what we're thinking. But people tend to lie to police and act a little suspicious, and the police go, I'm going to note that something's off here. So he says, the suspicious behavior led the police to naming him as a suspect. So Collings himself was also caught, taken into custody. Spears had also reportedly led the authorities to where her body was eventually found. After the arrests, Ford's mother filed for divorce. Crazy how that works.
Yeah.
And a funeral service was held for her in Neosho, Missouri. Many remembered Ford as a star student, well loved by her friends and teachers. Collings and Spears were charged with 1 count each of first-degree murder, forcible rape, statutory rape. Prosecution officially announced their intention to seek the death penalty for both. Before that case went to trial, Collings waived his right to a prelim hearing. He was therefore arraigned for trial at a later date. Due to the publicity around, this is why this is important. They granted them both moving the case out of that county.
Yeah.
And on March 12th of 2012, Collings stood trial solely for the charge of first-degree murder. Forensic evidence and videotape confessions of Collings were presented in court, and Spears himself appeared as a witness while awaiting trial for the murder of his stepdaughter. March 20th, Collings was found guilty of first-degree murder of Rowan Ford. Prosecution sought the death penalty. The jury returned their verdict after 48 minutes of deliberation, sentencing him to death. The jury found the murder of Rowan Ford was outrageously and wantonly vile, horrible, and inhumane, and Collings had killed Ford to avoid leaving her alive as a potential witness. And then September 26th of that same year, the prosecution decided to withdraw the murder charge against Spears. Instead, a plea deal was reached with both prosecution and defense, with Spears pleading guilty to endangerment of child's welfare and cover-up of a crime. And he ended up getting 11 years. So the other people are like, I can't believe you would put this guy to death.
More than 11 years for the second guy. Just, that's a heavy crime you were implicated in, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I definitely agree with dropping the murder charge on him, because technically Collings the one who went off the handle and did the rapey murder.
Yeah.
He just came to the front, and the friend's like, shit. All right, I'll help.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, and then covering it up. I mean, that just shows you the type of people you're dealing with. But there's probably not going to be, and honestly, these people, so many of these people find Jesus and they find a conscience in prison. They
Yeah.
do. So this stuff of like, well, he had a great relationship with his daughters after, it's like, yeah, I know that ship sort of sailed though, pal.
Yeah.
Again, I stand firm on this. Like, we need to be the bigger people, and that's why I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm cool if we find a way to not let the weak just get raped in jail. I don't think that helps anything, and feeding them maggots doesn't help anything. You don't have to make their living conditions like they're staying at a 5-star hotel, but
No.
I think other countries around the world have proved that
You could
you can.
rehabilitate instead of just lock
Yeah.
up and rot.
And for people like this, I don't think you rehabilitate. If you're
Nope.
capable of forcible rape on a 9-year-old and then choking them to death, like, yeah, dude, your days of walking free on this earth are over. But that's neither here nor there. That he is no longer with us. So, just want to let people know, and it's just so funny that people are like, he's done so much, this
Yeah, I've seen
established.
those comments.
Well, yeah, and I sort of get it. Like, there have been so many problems with the justice system over the years where it's like, too little, too late. And you fry some guy and you find out, through DNA evidence that didn't exist at the time that, just going, oh, it was Bill. Bill did it, and it's like, well, he was personally identified by a witness, and you're like, okay, and then you find out later Bill had nothing to do with it, and
Yeah.
God forbid being black and in an area of the country at a certain period in time, like, it sucks. And so you can point to those examples you know of people, but this one seems pretty cut and dry, the evidence, and in those cases it's like, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it's the original cases of fuck around and find out. LGBT, the LPGA, excuse me. I'm
Okay.
so used to saying LGBTQIA plus. The LPGA.
Golf.
Does anyone watch the chick golfers?
It's just as gay as the LGBT.
Yeah, it's sort of it. Well, there are a couple. I mean, there's a couple smoke shows out there that there's the one chick right now. I don't know where she's from. She's a blonde. She smokes on the course, which is just as sexy as you can get. And she wears fucking mini skirts. She plays it up. She knows how to play the role, and she can smack a ball. And so for those, I think those only help your game. When you could take advantage of all the, like, put your best foot forward. It's like, yeah, guys aren't dying to see the fucking, bull dyke out there. They want to see the lipstick lesbian, they want to see that one. If you get a picture of her,
Got it right here.
yeah, let's take a look.
Hold
And
on,
I've gone to a few of these professional events over the years. Yeah. That chick right there. And I don't know her name.
It is Charlie Hall.
Charlie Hall. Yeah. Charlie Hall is guys would come out to see her smack a ball. I remember going to the one of the PGA events. Me and McCarty and a few other guys did some interviews out there when Darren was first starting his show, and Nick and I were. He was like, "Oh, so and so's gonna." It might have been her for all I know. I didn't know the names, and he's like, "Check this chick out," and she just piped one right down the middle, and it was like the skirt couldn't have been any higher. The tits couldn't have been any more pop. And it was just like, she knew exactly what she was doing. It was like, oh man, I kind of like this sport, But they made some rule changes out of the blue. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, no.
They
announced smoking.
No, they have not banned smoking.
Say,
they any sport, morons too.
Any sport you can play with a cigarette in your mouth is way cooler, in my opinion.
Hell yeah,
including baseball. Like, I'm sad that they got rid of chewing tobacco. I want to see them playing with cigarettes in their mouth.
Yeah, hell yeah. It was the best when Jim Leland would sit in the dugout just chain smoking.
Yeah.
And then they made him go back into the dugout to have his cigarettes.
Fucking vapes, and vapes are gay.
Yeah, vapes are
Smoke
totally
a cigarette like
gay.
A man. I know.
Yeah. Do the real thing.
Terrible
exactly. Proving the point. Yeah. So the LPGA Tour announced a dramatic change to its gender policy today, having huge repercussions for some of their trans players. Women's golf has been embroiled in controversy over the past year with multiple dudes coming out or multiple players saying to alter its rule book to prevent trans athletes such as Haley Davidson from competing. The LPGA has stood firm by its inclusion policy for trans athletes who undergo surgery after male puberty, having removed its requirement for golfers to be female at birth in a policy change back in 2010. However, the organization has performed a U-turn, which will come into force in 2025. I believe that U-turn is known as the, dad's home early policy. I think that's what it is. And that policy, I believe, dad came home about midnight, 11:59 Eastern Standard Time on November 5th, 2024. And so you're seeing a lot of people like, fuck.
I don't even think this was like a trans problem. I think they literally just had a gorilla playing golf.
Yeah.
That is a
yeah.
I don't have words. That is a beefy man.
Yeah, that's just a dude who couldn't compete on the men's tour. Tried. And in 2015 was like, oh, wait, I cannot make the men's pro tour. And, he thought he found the perfect loophole. I'll just start beating up chicks on the tour. Well,
he looks like he beats chicks. Look at that brow. That's caveman-esque.
Yeah, that dude is smoking the ball. So the
got a Geico commercial after this.
The LPGA said its working group of experts advised that the effects of male puberty allowed for competitive advantages in golf compared with players who had not gone through puberty. Wow. So they got a panel of experts together, and it took them 14 years to figure that out, that men have a competitive advantage over women. Wow. Yeah. I'd love to meet these experts. I'd love to be in the room with these experts who finally figured out, like, when it dawned on them that, hold on, maybe these dudes coming in here and kicking the shit out of women's not the best thing for our sport. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
The competitive fairness gender policy. The good thing is, and I've said it for a while, like, sorry, ladies, you're going to have to keep taking it in the tits, but at some point you're going to have to stand up for some of these spaces yourselves. And there were like 300 female golfers that were like, all right, enough. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
This isn't good. And so you get enough of the people in your group bitching and you can make changes. So the 31-year-old guy, Davidson, these new policies would rule out eligibility for him, who has been trying to earn her professional status on the women's tour, amid all this criticism from about 300 female golfers. The 31-year-old did miss qualifying for the U.S. Open this year by one shot, came up short in the Q school, last competed as a dude in 2015, after which she began hormone therapy and underwent gender reassignment surgery in 21. Oops. Thought you found the perfect loophole there, did you, Mr. Davidson? I don't know what that means exactly. Gender reassignment, does that mean he's gotten rid of the twig and berries? Necessarily,
or
is
anything? Because I don't know, because gender reassignment surgery could also just be they shaved their jawline down a little bit, or got rid of the
Adam's apple,
rid of the tits, or got tits put in.
Right. Okay. They get cute with these terms, gender reassignment, because that could just be shaving of the Adam's apple or getting all kinds of estrogen shots, right? There's all kinds of.
I think they gave him tits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this dude's got some fat tits.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they've gone like full. What do they call that when you've gone full?
Retard.
Full transition. You know what I mean? Like, if would they let us know if his balls were hanging out from underneath her skirt there? Would we be able to tell? I mean, that's just a dude. Holy shit.
That is 100% a dude.
Yeah, that's just a big man. That's just a big
biceps.
Man. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
This dude could kick my ass.
Yeah.
I can't tell if that's acne or alopecia.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but holy shit, sir. Are you even trying? Are
you
even trying? Like,
they're not. The hair, the everything. This is just a dude with tits.
Yeah. Let's go down. Can you see a bulge there? What do we got? Okay, we shave the legs.
The club's in a really good spot for him.
Yeah. Well,
they didn't learn how to shave their legs very well.
Anyway, I don't know what this gentleman does now. Ma'am, excuse me. Just a lady out here working on my game. Working on my backstroke. Just a lady.
With razor burn and 5 o'clock shadow. Just a lady.
There is razor burn and 5 o'clock shadow. Holy shit. Yeah. This goes to the further discussion of, like, when you talk about like this is a difficult existence, that like I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that, but that's the reality. It's
Yeah.
just like someone, a white girl marries a black guy. There are certain realities with that that some people in the country aren't going to approve. It doesn't matter what they think, but there are going to be some looks, some people going, nah, this country's going to hell in a handbasket. Just
Yeah.
marrying one of them. Like that goes both ways. Black guy brings home a white girl. Trust me, there are family members that are going, fucking couldn't find a black queen. You had to go with these, some white devil. Like that. That's just the reality of it. My sister married a Chinese guy, and you're just aware that
Yeah.
there's probably some people somewhere that are going to look sideways. They've told me about getting glances from people, if they're eating at a restaurant. Probably not so much in San Francisco, but they go visit his family in Louisiana. They visit,
Yeah.
Michigan, and it's probably getting less and less. But that's just a reality. It comes with it. And it's
Yeah.
one of the things that makes when people talk about, well, it's not quite as easy, and it's like that's okay. That's the reality of it, and you fight through that, and it's not right, but it's just truth. It's reality. If you're Marina, for instance, Marina's well aware that they're walking down the street. Some people are going to take a second glance. Some
Yeah.
people might ask an insensitive question. Like
She's
those.
never
What's
been
it?
called out for the whole trans thing. Nobody's ever really gotten it, but it's more the Hispanic aspect that she deals with in public.
Yeah. So, but those are realities, and maybe you don't get to just barge into women's
Yeah.
spaces, that historically women's spaces like that. Okay, that's a hardship that you didn't wish was reality, but it's not just about protecting you, it's about protecting everybody too, and trying to be as fair and equitable, if you will, about everything. And you don't know what other people's past is, and if a woman doesn't feel safe when she's in a vulnerable state in a bathroom, and you need to respect that privacy as well. And that guy walks into that bathroom just going, I'm a lady, or it's ma'am. Like that could make, you can see why someone would feel uncomfortable with that. And that's part of the hardship you talk about, that maybe I don't have full access to everything I'd like a women's golf tour or a women's bathroom sometimes. That just comes with it,
Yeah.
you know? Um,
It's, the same as me, being gay and stuff like that. When I tell people about it or, explain it a little bit, I just have to understand that they're going to have questions. It's not an insensitive thing. It's not anything against them, but the world isn't built for me. All
yeah,
right. I'm in the minority. So I just have to adjust a little bit and live a little differently because of my
yeah.
choices. That's all it is.
Yeah. Believe me, when you hear someone's gay, like the first thing that pops in my mind is like, okay, Garrett, how do
Yeah.
you like take a guy's cock and like, how, like,
Yeah.
like at what point did you realize like I got to do that? That's a fair question.
It is. It's
It
just,
may be insensitive, but
no.
if you're not into that, if you're not into that at all, I would expect that you would go, how do you look at a vagine and go, "Ugh," and get
Exactly.
into that? Like,
I'm like, that is an open orifice. Like, I just,
yeah,
ugh,
like,
it leaks fluid and
yeah.
gooey stuff. Ugh.
Why
I know
why
tits
are
do that, but
those those bags they have on their chests?
all
They're
right,
all
tits are awesome.
floppy and weird. Yeah, tits are awesome. I can't even
Everybody
make
will
an
admit, even
argument.
gay guys love tits.
Yeah, tits are fun. They're great. But I think if we're being honest with ourselves, like we can all just be like,
Yep.
okay. But those questions are fun. Like, okay, the first time you grab that dick and you're staring down the fucking barrel, like,
Literally. This could
how do you
fire at
take
any
that?
moment.
How do you take that last step? Like, was it hard? Like, those are fair
You
questions.
just you just kind of get into it like you would with a woman. It just as it comes naturally, you do shit. It happens.
But they're fair questions.
They are.
Like not trying to be
And
insensitive, but those
and
you want gay friends so you can go, all right, man, tell me what that's about. Seriously.
exactly. And that's kind of what I am for a lot of people. It's like, look, man, just ask me questions if you got it. I know
Yeah.
they're not insensitive. If they're a little funny, they're funny.
Yeah. Yeah. The last thing you want to do is go, how dare you? And
Yeah.
they're like, okay, we're doing this. Really? We're
Yeah.
doing
I'd
this.
rather somebody start cracking jokes than just go, oh, I hate you. You're a sin to God,
Yeah.
affront to God.
Yeah. So, and then you just look at them and go, do you have more fun hanging out with your buddies
Yeah.
or your wife and her girlfriends? Oh, wait.
That's usually where I go.
And then you go, yeah, I get to do that all the time, 24 hours a day.
You
We
know
can
what's
blow
really
each other
awesome?
whenever we want. We can fucking hang out, and I don't have to deal with some broad whining about the fact that I didn't fucking get my honey-to-do list done. No,
Yeah.
we're dudes. It's cool.
Yep.
Like,
No,
there's
it's really awesome having a girlfriend where I can be like, she's like, "What are you doing right now?" I'm like, "Just playing video games." Like, "Oh, cool, have fun." I'm doing the
cool,
same
have
thing.
fun. Yeah. You wanna do
I'm
dinner later?
yeah.
You wanna check out the new Marvel movie? You wanna you're like, yeah, dude. Like, believe me, we all know it's like, yeah, it's the necessary evil that comes with the opposite sex in that we are opposites. And
Yes.
so that comes with its own problems that the guy to guy thing has kind of figured that out where it's like, I just can't get over the dick part. If it wasn't for the dick part, it's like the perfect solution,
No,
you know?
understandable. I get it.
I mean, you're the lucky one, not me.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, dude, hanging out
I
with
mean,
my
look at
buddies is the best thing ever.
not
Talking
for nothing,
shit.
but look at the domestic violence rates. I mean, gays the lowest, lesbians the highest, and straights in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Dude,
should
if
tell
I
you the
could
gauge of how the relationships work.
yeah. And by the way, I want to be my authentic self. Like, you don't mean that when you say that, because you don't really mean that. When people talk about I'm my authentic self, I'm just trying to be like, no, you don't respect that then, because guys' authentic self is talking shit to each other, is fucking around, is cracking wildly inappropriate jokes. That's my authentic self.
Yeah,
But
mine
you're
too.
not interested in that. That's called toxic masculinity. So we have to go wait till our buddies are around, and then we go out together and we can be our authentic selves. It's a fraudulent for many guys. Our authentic self is timeout. The wife's here. Oh, shit,
Yep.
the girlfriend's walking up. Hold on. Keep this one on the down low. Here it comes. Here she comes. We all know that place. So don't give me this argument of, oh, I'm just my authentic self. Yeah, you don't want us to be our authentic selves. Trust me. Gay guys have figured it out. They can be their
Oh yeah.
authentic selves. Lucky
A
bastards.
little too often their authentic selves, though.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with the community is like, hey, oh, your authentic self's a little too much. All right, you gotta
Yeah.
reel it back a little bit.
Yeah. Pull it back. It's
With your partner, be as wide as you want, but
yeah.
you're bringing your authentic self into public.
Yeah.
How I have to deal with it.
Too often. And stop fucking with our kids. How about
Yeah.
that? How about we
It's like,
just
how
do that?
about I just don't have to deal with your authentic self? Let that be you and your partner.
Yeah, there you go. Authentic selves, does that extend to porn stars? We have a story today. Woman currently in training, going
Okay.
for the world record attempt of banging 1,000 dudes in 24 hours.
Hmm.
These ones have never gotten me. You know, the lineup of guys. All I ever think about is the line. Like, we've all stood in a line waiting. You're going to the State Theater to see some. You're going to go see some weird metal band. But whatever, you see the line of people like at a. I remember living in Royal Oak, and ICP would regularly play like the Royal Oak Theater,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I'd drive by, and they're all standing in line like dopes with their faces painted, and it's like, if you're standing in line to get your 40 seconds of whole
That's what I was gonna
time,
say. Like, what kind of
like,
training is she doing? It probably all just average dicks. It's not like they're gonna
yeah,
get bigger over time, or each one of them's going to be like a 10-incher. So you're gonna really have to work on some shit.
yeah. And I don't know if they line them up by dick girth
Maybe
or length. If
start
they,
small, go the long, and thick.
yeah, it's like, let's work our way into the
I think that'd be
fucking
the easiest
extremes.
way to do it.
Yeah, it's like, all right, you Pindix, line up first. We're going Pindix first. The line cuts off here, sir. You're into the
Especially,
medium. Congratulations.
yeah, and that actually makes a lot of sense because imagine being the guy who has to go after the dude with the really big dick, and
Yeah,
you don't have one. It's like now I'm just fucking hitting nothing.
yeah. And
You know, I
then,
got two pumps here, and I can't even enjoy them.
and then you get to the end, and it's like, okay, we're going out in style, and you get the forearm guy.
Yeah.
You know, he kind of wraps up the party, and it's kind of an award for him too. He was out of
Yep.
1,000 guys, he was the guy, and you get the micros up front. Let's
Yep.
ease into this. But I figured that the conversation in line while you're waiting is what would just be like so awkward. Like, how's your
You
day
like
been?
titties?
You know, are you standing in line nude? Is it like a Jack's
Are you
meeting?
bringing
You know?
friends? Like that's another question I have. Like I bring friends to concerts, so usually I have like a little group of people to hang out with in the line and at the bars and stuff. Are you
Yeah,
like bringing a couple buddies, like hanging out in line?
but then they don't separate you by like, Garrett, you go to the back of the line with that
Yeah.
huge hog of yours. I'm sorry, Mike, you're going to have to go to the front. You're second guy in. It's like, fuck.
Hey,
Second guy
at
in.
least you're getting a cleaner push.
Yeah, it
Like
is.
us in
But
the
then
back
it's
of the line, we might have to deal with a little bit of a mess from the guys in the front.
but the embarrassment, it's like you've got your number and it's like, oh, where'd you end up? And it's like 2. And it's like, oh, geez, sorry,
Yeah,
dude.
now we all
Sorry about
know.
that. My bad. Where did you end up, Garrett? 998.
You're
Fuck.
like, what the fuck?
God damn it.
You didn't even want to be here. You're gay.
Yeah. What the fuck? You just wanted to end up at 998, didn't you?
Pretty
Son of a
much.
bitch.
I just wanted
At
to
the
stand in line
back
and
of
look
the
at the other
line.
dudes.
Yeah. I didn't even want to bang her. I just wanted to stand back here nude and check out all the other guys in line.
Yep.
So, health concerns have been raised about this porn star. Adult entertainer Lily Phillips began taking applications for the record breaking event of the year, which is currently set to take place in January. The current record holder is Lisa Sparks,
Okay.
3 X's on that name, Sparks, I believe.
Clever.
Yeah. They love doing that. She banged 919 dudes in one day at a sex industry event back in 2004 in
You
Poland.
couldn't just find 81 more dudes hanging around? Put out a
Yeah,
call?
right. Yeah, I remember this with the Houston 500. I think was one
Yeah.
back years ago. Was like, holy shit, she's going to bang 500 guys. At the time, Sparks reportedly said she had a blast, but was in pain for weeks afterwards. Phillips, however, has declared she's been in training for several months in order to be physically up to the challenge. So, what impact would sex intercourse that lasts a total of 24 hours have on the body? Sydney, Australia medical practitioner Dr. Zach Turner weighed in, or as I call him, Dr. Buzzkill.
Yeah.
He specializes in preventative health and wellness and warned that when pushed to the extremes, such activity could have a negative effect on the body. I'm sure she's taking all this into consideration.
Yeah, obviously.
Sex at its core is a physically demanding activity that engages various muscles, the cardiovascular system, and the release of endorphins. Done in moderation, it's akin to a rewarding workout. I think it's way better than a rewarding workout.
Yeah, it's
I've
the
had
most
workouts.
rewarding.
Very few of them end with rewarding, is what I
Yeah.
would say. Like, hey, how was your workout? Rewarding. No, that's not usually the verb I would use for that. But promoting stress relief, cardiovascular health, and emotional bonding when done in moderation, that is. However, when pushed to extremes, the physical and psychological toll can be severe. Common issues can arise, including bruising, tearing, general soreness, akin to running a marathon without prior training. Overuse, injuries, dehydration, sheer exhaustion are almost guaranteed. Lisa Sparks herself admitted to being in pain for a week. Phillips has been having large quantities of sex and increasing the numbers. So she's done 101. I'm doing 300 in a few weeks. It's like a boxing match. I think I'll get sore towards the end. Blah, blah, blah. Dr. Buzzkill says, despite the known health benefits to consensual sex, Buzzkill warned that these would go out the window if this act lasts for 24 hours. The risks overshadow the benefits. Fatigue
Yeah.
diminishes the pleasurable aspects. Yeah, no one expects this to be pleasurable.
How angry do you think the first 100 are when they get you the 1,000? And it's like, hey, I was here in the fucking early stages, all right? Like, this is my band, all right?
Yeah,
You're
well,
over here thinking you're a big fan of them. No, I've been here since the beginning. No, they're
yeah,
just
but
gatekeeping the
but
pussy.
in their defense, they would say, "Hey, we all got here at the same time, man. You just
Yeah.
you just got to the register before I did. You bought the album first, but I was stuck waiting in line. I was here too. They
I know,
want
but I
early
mean, like
admission.
the first 100 in her training. What I'm saying is, like,
Oh,
the guys
yeah,
getting in on the
those
early
ones.
ground.
Yeah,
The first
yeah.
300 too. Like, then those guys come in. It's like that's album 2. Eventually, you
Um,
get to their main breakout hit, the 1,000, and everybody who's been listening since the beginning gets pissed off.
yeah, that happens all the time. People love, the underground until they get mainstream and then they get all bummed
Yep.
out. Act like this is mine.
No, it happens a
No
lot
one
in my
gets to
bands.
claim a porn star's vagine, though.
Nah.
Other health elements that come into play include higher risk of transmitting a sexual disease, as well as psychological impacts, blah, blah. I think we're way past that. Way past that. It's essential to respect bodily autonomy and individuals' right to make choices about their bodies. However, such extreme endeavors invite questions about intent, emotional well-being, and potential coercion. Social media has magnified these events, often prioritizing shock value over genuine health or personal growth. You think?
Yeah.
Look, it is what it is. You're just a hole. Nothing
Yeah.
more. That you're a breathing glory hole.
Oh, here's the hole.
Yeah, and she's pretty hot. Let's see her. I'd hit it. Not now.
What,
Not now.
how far back in line would you go before you wouldn't hit it anymore?
Um, 3. You
See, because I'm
know,
sitting at 1. I'm good.
yeah.
It's
As
fun to
long as
look
I'm
at,
going
but
first. Do we have more pictures of her? Let's see.
it's just in the article.
Yeah.
The doctor. There you
Okay.
go.
There's Dr. Buzzkill. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, she's holding it together, no doubt.
That's not her. There she
No.
is.
Yeah, she's beautiful. So there it is. 1,000 men in 24 hours. Blah blah blah. Male talent casting call.
So
So, I'm just hoping for a conveyor belt. They need to walk in the room and then leave. Reaction to the plans has been strong, with many shocked by the stunt. All get so. All get so when you're doing 1,000 in 24 hours, each gets 41.6 seconds. So, so yeah, and I imagine there's
Who's
going to be some two pump chumps in there that get their 5 seconds bust, and then it's like, get out of here, dude.
Yep.
And hopefully some guy at the end gets to claim,
Yeah.
maybe that those last dozen guys are in the 10-minute range.
I think I like to think they get their whole 41 seconds, but they get to have some pillow talk afterwards.
Yeah.
That's like their reward or something. Now, who gets to sit there with the stopwatch and make sure?
Oh yeah, someone does.
I'd hate that job.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Next.
guy's going to be there. Next, go, pull out, pull out. I don't know if they've got someone that grabs guys by the hips and gets them out of there. If they try
Yeah.
and go longer, you need a referee in there. If you just let the guys, like, on the honor system, it's very, very hard to remove yourself at 41.6
Yeah.
seconds. You might have some referees come running in there and crowbar them apart, grab some guy by the hips and yank him out of there and move him along.
I mean, she did say conveyor belt. Maybe a conveyor belt is actually what she needs, just so everybody stands on it. You don't have to do the whole thing. You just get the couple
Yeah.
guys on deck and then the one in the row. And then as soon as he's over, you dump that guy and get the next guy in.
There's got to be a few guys on reserve too, because there's going to be some stage fright happening. There's going to be one or two maybe in the middle that just can't, under the circumstances, get going.
I got a solution for that one. It's just send him to the back of the line next.
Yeah, I mean,
back in line next.
Maybe, but there could be some guys, like, I don't know. There could be some that freak out under the pressure and like, oh, God, I'm up in 2 guys. I'm up in 2 guys. I'm up in 1 guy. I'm next. And they're not ready yet. It's like, give me a minute. We don't have a minute, man. We're on the clock. Let's go. 41, 40, 39, 38. Let's go, dude.
If you're not ready, back of the line, next guy. Come back later.
People don't understand the pressure in the moment is not easy. That's not a given. You got to perform on the spot. That's hard. So it would be tragic if she got this far and it turns out womp womp. She only got 963 because those last 37 failed.
Yeah.
When I hope there's a dozen guys at least. I'd give back 10 seconds. I'd probably give back 20 seconds.
There you go.
Honestly. Yeah. I probably would. I'd get too excited. I'd get amped up and be like, 1 pump, 2 pump. This is going to be great. Oh, shit. Shit. All right. Next guy up. I think I used all my 40 seconds. And then everyone would laugh at me. The fact of the matter is, this seems, what seems cool, rebellious, and shocking when you're 23 is really fucking pathetic and sad when you hit 43. That's the reality. This is the hard part. Lynn says, I'm embarrassed for her parents and family, shaking my head. Yeah.
That's one of the things you're going to find out when she gets a little older. Like, oh, man.
It's the Stormy Daniels effect where it's like, hey, we're still shaking our ass on a stage for fucking goofballs at 40. And it's just sad. It's not, I a lot of times I've been very honest about my life growing up and conquests and I've banged everything. Like, it's not as cool when you get older to look back and be like, I didn't, it's just part of the maturing process. It's part of growing up. And I know the feeling of being 23, being a hot chick at 23 years old, thinking you've got the world by the balls, thinking somehow people are into this. No, you are a coin slot and people are just dropping coins into you. And that comes with psychological consequences. To Dr. Buzzkill's point, it really does. And, some people don't care. A lot of people will put up self-defense mechanisms to go, I don't care. I don't care. I had all the fun. I regret nothing. We do that as human beings, but the reality is that is someone's daughter. That's someone's daughter. That's, and at 23, what she thinks is cool at 23 and exciting at 23 is not when you're 43. And, she'll have to live with that. And, the fact that this gets plastered all over uh, talk shows and media reports like, hey, these are the facts about what's going on. It's like, no, there's real damage. You're dealing with a very broken human being, and aligning up a thousand douchebags to stick their dicks in her is just kind of sad. It is what it is. No healthy minded human is doing that. I don't want to make it illegal. You're entitled to do what you want. You're an adult, at 23 years old, but
Yeah.
she's a beautiful girl, and probably, it's gonna that will come back to bite at some point. And
And
to prove that point, and I'll let you say something, Garrett. Sorry.
yeah,
Um, Sparks, best known by her porn name, Lisa Sparks XXX. Sparked controversy when she did this, blah blah blah.
sparks
Because
controversy.
yeah, the government was going to step in because this was in Poland, and they found out about it and threatened to arrest anyone involved, all that kind of stuff. And so she has come out years later and said, to be completely transparent with you all, this event is the one thing I regret doing in the 23 plus years in the porn industry to this day. This was the only all caps job I agreed to perform for the money. She also revealed during this time that she was bored as shit, and then she ordered food during
Yeah.
it.
Macca's.
Macca's. I don't know what
Yeah.
that is. What is
It's
Macca's?
just Australian McDonald's. It's McDonald's, but that's what they call it in Australia.
Yeah.
Macca's.
Yeah. It's sad, you see it with kids a lot. I see it with what these kids, Marsha was telling me, because all these kids want to be YouTube stars. They all want to do a podcast. They want to
Yeah.
be, that's the new, I'm going to be a rock star when I grow up. I'm going to be an actor. Having no concept behind it. And he was very proud of himself. And he said, hey, I came up with a name for my show for me and my buddy Aaron. I was like, oh yeah, what's that? And he goes, the Banana and Oreo Show. And I was like, I'm thinking that's
Makes
the
no sense.
fucking gayest ass name I've ever heard for a show. Maybe it'll be huge. Maybe you guys would all listen to the Banana and Oreo Show.
Like,
Banana, because Marshall loves bananas and Aaron loves Oreos. And it's like, yeah, that's
that's
to them,
logic.
it's really cool. That's what young minds think of as cool. Like, oh, won't this be cool? And you're like, yeah, give it a few years, pal. Before you launch this channel, why don't you give it a few years, and we'll find out if you still think banana and Oreo. It's what kids name fucking pets when it's like, oh, we're gonna let the kid name the pet.
Yeah.
Oreo. They come up with banana. That's.
I was pretty good about my pets.
Were you?
Yeah, I had a Fukfase for a while.
Fukfase's awesome. I approve.
Yep. And then I also, but the first one I got the name, I think it was like 7. It was a dog named Pudge after the catcher for the Tigers at the time, because I was playing baseball and I was the catcher.
Okay.
I really liked Pudge
Yeah.
Rodriguez.
And you're a catcher to this day. It's
I am.
impressive. Yeah, it's great. So Pudge makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
This
And he was
coming
a
from a
pug. It was
guy.
perfect.
Yeah. This coming from a guy who named his cat Pants and his
Yeah.
other cat Monster. So,
Those are the best names.
Yeah, they are. Calling your cat Lily is like,
No.
Oreo.
I
Yeah.
had a
I
lizard
see
named
what-
Kevin for a while, snake named Karen. I just give him
Kevin's
human
dope.
names. Yeah.
Derek's lizard was Sid Vicious, which was
That's a
dope.
good one.
Sid Vicious was awesome until we lost Sid Vicious.
Yeah.
He escaped and didn't realize he wasn't in the jungle anymore, his iguana, and found out real quick that breaking free seems fun on paper until you find out that it's fall in Michigan.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
cold as shit out there.
Yeah, Sid Vicious, I don't think fared very well. Rest in power, my friend.
Yep.
Think about you a lot, Sid. Yeah, so the larger point being, when you're 9, you think the Oreo and Banana Show is hilarious and great. You're not going to think that when you're 20, and when you're 23, you think being risky and sexually expressive is cool. But at 40, it's sad and it's a bummer. It is what it is. So Pete Hegseth has drawn the ire of people. These nominees that Trump has picked to fill out his cabinet, have gotten a lot of shit. There's a handful of that have really bummed people out. The fact that Pete Hegseth was on the Fox and Friends weekend team
Yeah.
is really, that really is kind of knife to him. But the stories that start coming out, people need to take these with a grain of salt. Anytime they're going after someone really hard, I'm like, no, that's the one you want to stick with. Probably the ones that are going to really upset the apple cart. Those are the ones I'm interested in. The ones that are very clear about like this. The problem is these motherfuckers up here
Yeah.
that have been running shit their way for 75 years. They're the problem, and we're the disruption that's coming for them. So it's why the Elon Musks and the Viveks don't scare me at all. The RFK Juniors, the kind of those are the guys that are in no way swampy people. They're the ones that I'm interested in. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are. Pete Hegseth, I think, has an interesting background and a smart guy. You want to throw that, like, education is really important to people. That you throw Princeton and Harvard in there. Okay, there you go. There's your education, and the background is clear. They are now coming with the attacks. We did the story about the chick who claims, I was sexually assaulted by Pete Hegseth. And it was like, yeah, that story kind of fell apart on its face. So Wednesday, this morning, Pete Hegseth said he has no plans to withdraw his name from consideration, revealing a recent call he had with Trump. I spoke to the president-elect this morning. He said, keep going, keep fighting, find your own way. Asked about withdrawing his name, he responded, why would I back down? I've always been a fighter. I'm here for the war fighters. This is personal and passionate for me. It was uncovered last month that Hegseth was accused of sex assault back in 2017. Unnamed woman, of course, always an unnamed woman, claims Hegseth sexually assaulted her in a hotel room following a conservative conference. Hegseth said the encounter was consensual. Police decided against any further action. And I can see how that played out. We talked about it weeks ago.
Yeah.
Husband starts asking questions. Husband was at the hotel with the kids, and she was one of the handlers there. Pete was drunk. There's video of her walking him to his room, going into his room. She's the one kind of leading the charge. So, and something happened. He fucked her, it sounds like, as guys are known to do. And, she makes her way back to the hotel room, and the husband starts asking fucking questions. Where have you been? Why didn't you come back to the hotel room last night?
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough question to answer when the kids and the husband are in the fucking hotel waiting for you. And
That's fucking bold.
she tried to pull off the, I got lost and I fell asleep on a couch in a friend's room. And for some idiot, maybe that's good enough, but it sounds like it wasn't. And the husband was like, yeah, nice try. Where the fuck were you last night? And so then it's like, yeah, I was sexually assaulted, and the police looked at it and went, nice try, sweetheart. Good luck with your husband, by the way.
Yeah.
And moved along. And so did Pete. And, he's worried in the heyday of the Me Too movement in 2017, ended up paying this bitch a couple grand or something to go away, which is common.
Yep.
Common. Don't act like that's surprising. So that there was that story. Well, now NBC News has come out with a story about Pete Hegseth. So they're fishing for stuff here. ABC News reported that, shockingly, anonymous sources of former colleagues of Pete Hegseth, say he was drunk while on the air. Professional colleagues of Hegseth took issue with this NBC report. So NBC News reported Pete Hegseth drank in ways that concerned his colleagues at Fox News, according to 10 current and former Fox employees who spoke with NBC News. 2 of those people said that on more than a dozen occasions during Hegseth's time as co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, they smelled alcohol in him before he went on air. Those same 2 people, plus another, said that during his time there, he appeared on television after they'd heard him talk about being hungover. Ooh. As he was getting ready to go on set. Unlike the anonymous colleagues of Hegseth, several actual colleagues put their name on it and went to bat for Pete. So some of those people included Dan Bongino, worked with Pete for years. This is absolute bullshit. Will Cain, co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, so he's the one that would have been sat next to Pete all those years. Your story is horseshit, NBC News. Put my name on it, on the record. It'll be your only on the record source. Signed, the guy who sat next to him for 8 hours every week for 5 years, starting at 6 a.m. Clay Travis, add me to the list. It's ridiculous bullshit. I'll say it again, as I've said it for years. Anonymous quotes where people rip on other people shouldn't be part of any journalism. It's total bullshit. If you aren't man or woman enough to put your actual name behind your criticism, then it shouldn't be published, period. And for the record, having done early morning media for years, there's no way anyone with actual alcohol issues can do early morning TV or radio for years and never miss shows. Of all the media jobs, early morning is by far the least forgiving and most demanding.
Yeah.
That's not wrong. It's if people want to know the real reason Zip didn't stay in Detroit, okay? It's very hard. Now, you can cover for people. It's very hard for your lead talent to get through this. Television, even harder. I say impossible. There's no fucking way you're doing regular morning television with an alcohol problem, where you're drunk on the air. Like, no, that's not happening. That is, there are people that have problems. It gets noticed right away, and then people disappear for months as they go fix themselves, whatever. You don't just have lushes hanging on national television on morning shows. Like, no, radio's a little different. Radio, you can get away with some shenanigans. I'm living proof of that. It's not as easy, but network television, that would be near impossible, to have all these people. And it's always the same story of not putting your name on something, anonymous sources, worried about retaliation. That's what they'll say. I don't buy it for a second. I have not watched a ton of Fox and Friends Weekend, but there were some times probably back in 17, 18, 19 where it was on the weekend, and I've seen it. I've seen plenty of it. There's never anything where I went, well, the guy seems a bit off today. That's my anecdotal evidence of that. Rachel Campus Duffy, who I can't stand on those shows, her and her stupid husband, co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend. So she's one of the regular weekend hosts, along with Will Cain and Pete Hegseth. She says, the losers at NBC never reached out to me either. Will Cain is right. Your story is horse shit. You now have two people who sat next to him 8 hours a week on the record. Will you retract or correct your story? Lisa Booth said, I've guest co-hosted with him numerous times before. Not once did this happen. Not once have I heard this from others. This is such a disgusting and false smear. It's wrong and malicious. Former Fox News producer Brianna Morello. As a former Fox producer, I've never heard this in my life. Everyone spoke highly of him, still does to this day. I noticed the employees are anonymous. Another attack came from the New Yorker in a piece titled Pete Hegseth's Secret History. Piece quoted a previously undisclosed whistleblower report that accused him of being repeatedly intoxicated while acting in his official capacity as the president of Concerned Veterans for America between 13 and 16. In response, his lawyer said, we're not going to comment on outlandish claims laundered through the New Yorker by a petty and jealous, disgruntled former associate. Get back to us when you try your first attempt at actual journalism. Yeah. These people are just gross. The tricks they use to get stories out are the furthest thing from journalism. It would never qualify. It's just bullshit. I'm sure most people see through it at this point. That's probably the best thing to happen of late, is people seeing through so much of this garbage. I don't know. It's just sad. It goes on. It's everywhere.
It's a last ditch effort to throw whatever they can at the wall to try and stir up whatever the conservatives are doing because they're angry.
Yeah.
That's really all it is.
Historically, what you see is there's too much stink on this one. It's what Connor was emailing about, and I kind of agreed. It's too toxic for unity. And most of my feeling on that was, the Fox News part about it is is the part that's too toxic. But there's never anything that I've heard Pete say. People will go, "Oh yeah, he says women shouldn't be in combat roles. He thinks men are better than women." It's like, no, no, the studies are clear. Like when you're trying to put together the most fierce fighting killing machine on earth, give me the details of this. Are women in combat roles making the military stronger? And the answer is a resounding no. It doesn't mean there's not roles for women, but Pete's point was, look, they've done studies on this and have found that this does not elevate the fighting force. And so that's a valid point. It's a conversation worth having.
Yeah.
There, but non-serious people want to act like that's some sort of deal breaker of a conversation, and it's like, no, a lot of us recognize that and don't want to say it. And historically what you've seen is these nominations get up there and it's like, oh yeah, they get intimidated, and it happens on both sides where it's like, oh yeah, they're scared of this guy, so we're better off just replacing him and going with someone else. I think the mandate is like, yeah, fuck these people. They're going to keep playing these same games to try to get people removed they don't like. And we're not putting up with that. Stand united. As Obama famously said, elections have consequences. These people should be able to put their team together and deal with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah,
So.
he won. Let him get his team together. If you don't like it, win next time. Get your team together.
Yeah. Or have real credible sources on the record that come with receipts. If you're going to make claims to try to destroy someone's career, destroy someone's opportunity, you don't get to hide under, sources, just saying sources, and acting like it's some whistleblower protection. No, if you're going to come out and claim that someone has done something so egregious that they don't belong in this position, and you're willing to put your name on that and go out there, then have the fucking balls to do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, shut up. No, you don't, you don't get to have 10 unnamed sources and no accountability, no credibility, just saying it. We've seen the New York Times do this countless times when you look at bylines and you see what sources there were, and it's the same fucking reporters every time with unsourced, unknown people that worked on these stories, and it's the same every time. I'm glad. I think more people are seeing through this, the tricks that the mainstream media, legacy media, if you will, they're certainly not mainstream, but these tactics are just gross.
Yeah.
Village People. YMCA singer Victor Willis has U-turned on his opposition to Trump using the song at his rallies. And in general, now that the election's over, he's still doing it at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, stance.
It's kind of wild, dude. He bitches though. Victor Willis, he's urging fans not to call it the gay anthem.
It is. Come on.
Come on, dude.
It's between that and something by George Michael. It's probably Chameleon or something. Comic Chameleon.
That's not George Michael.
No, that is, and you're right. I always get that one wrong.
Boy George.
Boy George.
Yeah, and Culture Club was his band.
Yes.
Nice try. You were not born yet when they were having these hits. So yeah, the 73-year-old founding member of the Village People previously urged the president to stop playing their hit at his political rallies. But on Sunday, Willis changed his tune. I bet he did, saying he didn't have the heart to continue fighting Trump's team after seeing how much the president-elect seems to genuinely like YMCA. The airtime has pushed the song towards the top of the Billboard charts. In fact, it spent 2 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard charts. Now, this is a song from 1978 that hasn't been relevant in decades. It's right up there with Celebration. It's played at fucking parties and weddings.
Yeah.
Everyone gets
the cha-cha slide.
Yeah, it's
I don't have that in my I don't have it in my playlist, but I have heard it a million times.
So when you have a song that hits the charts and is on the Billboard, like, that's real money. When you have a top of the charts, when you get a top 5 single, That's real money. So to a guy in his 70s that wrote a song, 50 years ago, to have this kind of resurgence, he'd be a moron. And by the way, most of these guys don't have the rights to these things anyways.
Yeah.
He might retain some, but no, these things are licensed for usage in ASCAP and BMI and all kinds of things. So him coming out, a lot of these people are coming out and just going on the record politically and saying like Neil Young or something like, we demand he stop. It's like, you don't even own the fucking song anymore. Shut up, dude. Shut up. That's why he keeps playing it and thumbing his nose at you, because you have no say in this.
Yeah.
Jack White retains Third Man Records, retains Seven Nation Army. He's got some say in who can use that. But there are performance rights organizations that have ownership. You need clearance and sign off from them, and venues have clearance. Radio stations pay for the rights to play these. You don't have artists coming in and telling you, no, I disagree with the politics on this morning show. Stop playing my song. It doesn't work that way. So Willis wrote on Facebook, the song was never intended to be a gay anthem, saying he knew nothing about the Y being a hangout for gays when he wrote the lyrics. Yeah, well, the other guys in the band were gay. So I'm pretty sure they knew what the implications were between that. Since 2020, I've received over 1,000 complaints about President Trump's use of YMCA. With that many complaints, I decided to ask him to stop using it, blah, 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 because it became a nuisance to me. However, the use continued because Trump's campaign knew they had obtained a political use license from BMI. And absent that license being terminated, they had every right to continue using the song. And they did. In fact, I started noticing numerous artists withdrawing the president-elect's use of the material. But by the time I said to my wife one day, hey, Trump seems to genuinely like YMCA, and he's having a lot of fun with it. As such, I simply didn't have the heart to prevent his continued use of my song in the face of so many artists withdrawing their use. Willis added that the tune is also, he's benefited a bit from Trump's adoption of this song, as it rocketed to number 2 on the Billboard charts, and it went to the top spot for 2 weeks due to Trump playing it. YMCA estimated to gross several $1 million during the president-elect's continued use of the song.
Let the man use it then. Come on, man.
Yeah. So that can bring in anywhere from $500,000 to millions of dollars.
Yeah.
When you've got a song on the top of the Billboard charts, that's it depends on longevity, streams, additional revenue sources like licensing, merchandising. Revenue splits typically are divided between labels, producers, writers, stakeholders, etc. So there's been a lot of talk. He goes on, YMCA has been widely understood to refer to the youth organization's reputation as a popular cruising and hookup spot for young men. It was dubbed the gay national anthem in 22. There's been a lot of talk, especially of late, that YMCA is somehow a gay anthem. As I've said numerous times in the past, that's a false assumption based on the fact that my writing partner was gay, and not all of the Village People were gay, and the first Village People album was totally about gay life. Dude, it's the gay anthem. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
I personally don't really respect the anthem. It's a song. I appreciate that it's a song, but it sucks. It's a terrible gay anthem.
Look, man. I've come to the conclusion that Donald Trump,
it's a gay anthem. Look at
it's a gay anthem. It is what it is. I've come to the conclusion for those gays that are worried, like Trump's going to take away our gay rights, like all that kind of like pearl clutching. They've been so ginned up to think that he's your enemy. Donald Trump may be the world's biggest gay icon. That I've come down on this side. Like he's, the easy one is he's the first president to enter the White House in support of gay marriage. Now that gets thrown out there. LGBT for Trump. That gets thrown out there a lot. In fairness, I think Barack Obama was absolutely for gay marriage in 2008. But
he was gay.
Exactly. But Barack Obama also was a savvy politician and understood the landscape nationwide. And so he would say stuff like, hey, while I think marriage is between a man and a woman, we need to respect all people's choices and
Yeah.
blah, 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 and rights. Like, he was basically for gay marriage without being able to say it. And I think it was politically dangerous for him to say something like that
Yeah, he was just
at the
slightly
time.
pushing the envelope until it got a little safer to say it, and then he got
Right.
out with it.
Hillary Clinton, totally different story. It wasn't until 2013 that she
Yeah.
was pulled out of the fucking woods, just kicking and screaming for gay marriage. And now she wants to, act like she's a champion.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, you
It was
idiot.
about when she learned she should probably be the next one up for president. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I should figure out what's popular right now.
When did it become politically smart to be for it? Those are the kind of decision making, let's get a group together and find out, what is this, a positive or a negative for my campaign if I'm for or against? Like, they're
Yeah.
based in nothing. Barack
Coincidentally,
Obama,
around 2015, it became the popular thing.
right. So in 2008, so technically speaking, you're able to use that and say, hey, the first person to enter the White House in favor of gay marriage was Donald Trump. So Mar-a-Lago, okay, is as tacky, gaudy, extravagant. That would make Liberace and Versace themselves blush.
Yeah.
That place. Anytime you see video in there, it's fucking gold and extravagant and portraited, and it's fucking gay as shit. Okay.
Yeah. Anything Trump does is like that.
Yes. Who would move into Mar-a-Lago and proudly declare it home? Elton John would, Freddie Mercury would, Boy George would, Cher would, Melissa Etheridge would, Madonna would, the fucking Village People sure as shit would.
Yeah.
Okay. Donald Trump proudly calls that his home. Mar-a-Lago hosts LGBTQ plus events and welcomes gay guests. February of 2024. Look at that. Dude, that's Versace's wet dream right there.
Oh, yeah.
That image. It is.
Too. Look at this.
Yeah. And that's old. That's an older picture. I mean, it's as gaudy and tacky and fucking extravagantly gay as you can get, that place. Mar-a-Lago hosts these events, welcomes gay guests. February of 24, Mar-a-Lago hosted a same-sex wedding for John Sullivan, an official with the pro-LGBTQ log cabin Republicans. In 2022, these gays held their annual gala at Mar-a-Lago. And by the way, only gays hold galas, okay? No dude groups call them galas. If you're having a gala, it's for gay men. Am I right, Garrett?
I mean, there's also women who have galas, but
sure. Yeah,
if men are throwing a gala, it's a gay.
Yeah. If you're going to a gala, you also talk about the manosphere, right?
Probably.
Yeah, that's what that means. No, I've never been invited to a gala, and I would never go with my boys to a gala. These gays held their official gala at Mar-a-Lago. His theme song, Trump's, is YMCA, literally maybe the gayest song ever produced. By the Village people. Victor can say whatever he wants. Historically, everybody knows YMCA is a gay anthem. The cop, the Indian, the construction worker, the gay biker, gayest band ever. You can pull up the image of them again.
Yeah.
And for context, this band, right, the Village People, turned a military branch into a gay slur when they wrote "in the Navy." Okay. Yeah. So Donald Trump, through this gay anthem, YMCA, also turned the toughest people in our society, the toughest NFL stars, MMA stars, are doing his little gay YMCA dance. Like, the gays should be celebrating this. Trump's, the dance itself is gay as shit. And he has grown men, fucking guys that are actually guys, military guys, MMA guys, football guys, doing this gay little dance, right?
It's kind of like holding two dicks.
Holding up two dicks. Think of any other politician in the history of time, any conservative GOP politician, if they came on stage, if they left Mar-a-Lago, came on stage to YMCA and were doing this dance on stage, how far that would get them? They'd be laughed out of the fucking conversation.
Tim Walz was a great example of that. Remember?
Yeah.
Jazz hands. Look at the song playing. Hey, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trump is so confident in himself. He's hosting gay events at his place. He's coming out to YMCA, the gayest song ever.
Yep.
Like, dude, he is your gay icon. He's that. You're not going to get any better than Trump. Like that's just the way I look at it. You know?
I've been seeing it the whole time. I've been
Yeah.
telling other people to catch up.
It's wild. It's wild when you look at it. But so for
And it
all
didn't
the
help
gays
him in
out there,
2016 with Mike
Dude.
Pence, because Mike Pence was super anti-gay still.
yeah, Mike Pence is gay.
So that didn't help him in the beginning, but Trump should definitely be a gay ally.
Yeah, dude, when you're asking your wife permission to be, my wife needs to be there because I don't trust myself around other women. It's like, don't worry, dude. No, you're not crushing pussy out there at the restaurant, sir. You could have a meeting with women in it. He's always struck me as fucking weird as shit, Mike Pence.
Yeah. We always used to call him Mike the Electric Fence Pence because that's what we always assumed he was to round up all the gays.
And look, when he talks, I don't hate what's usually coming out of his mouth. He's not a dummy, but there's just something where if the story, if you heard 10 years from now, like, boys who grew up used to go to Boy Scout camp with Mike Pence, and there were some like, would you be shocked by it? You'd be like, yeah, that kind of checks.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything, but believe me, Tim Walz is not fooling many. There's not many men that look at Tim Walz and go, yeah, he seems like one of the bros. He seems like one of the guys.
Even when he was playing like football games on a stream and stuff, he was with AOC and it was the gayest thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you should have gotten like a rapper or something who plays the NFL games.
Pull up. So by going in see if you can find video of Tim Walz coming out on stage with his jazz hands.
Yeah.
So if you really look, because I'm seeing stories now, I should have pulled some for context, but if you there are like gay dudes now, or gay people who have been ginned up to believe like Trump's going to attack gay rights and gay marriage, and we need to move, and they're rushing to get out of the country, or hurry up and get married before he bans marriage between men or gays. None of that's happening. You're the mark, you've bit, and you're getting yourself all worked up for something that's never happening. Yeah. It's not going to happen. Trump has no interest in anything like that. So, it sucks that you see your fellow citizens that terrified, trying to rush to the altar. We've moved up our wedding from next year to this year to cram it in this month before he takes office and bans it. And you're like, yeah, dude, we're trying to stockpile on contraception because he's going to make it illegal to have I don't know who you people are listening to, but it's crazy. And if you just look at the facts in front of your face, you would realize your gay champion has been here the whole time. Yeah, and in fact, he's getting actual fucking the manliest men in our society to go along and normalize the YMCA theme. It's hilarious.
Try and normalize this.
Tim Walz.
Hey,
that's my name.
Look at me. Oh, yeah. Hi. I can't believe I'm here. Yeah, it's just, it's so fake. It's so bad. No man behaves like that. No man. No, lots of men do. They're called gay men.
Yeah, or professional wrestlers.
Yeah. Hamming it for cameras, jazz handing, hearting, pointing, like all of it together. Like you might walk out onto a stage and give a big wave. I've probably done that. Yeah. Maybe I'm with you, I feel you. But all of it together, no.
I've seen plenty of just like they come out and be like, "Hey, I'm up here. What's up?" And then they go do their thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's silly.
No, leave the intros for the WWE superstars, which, by the way, that's still the gayest sport ever. I think Daniel Tosh put it the best when he said it's a bunch of naked men in underwear fighting over a belt.
Yeah.
It's the gayest thing ever. I'm like, oh shit. And it's all acted and scripted.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with them. It's kind of a tired joke at this point about wrestling, like grown men in tights rolling around with each other. It is, but it's,
for what it is, man. I respect wrestlers.
Oh, dude, there's some of the baddest dudes on planet Earth. You don't want to fuck with a wrestler, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeez, ridiculous. Even getting to be a wrestler takes incredible strength, toughness. There's Mike's meet and greet will be called a gala. Yeah, it probably should be.
Thanks, FM.
You know what? I'll do that. Wink, wink for all of you. We're having a gala next time. Next time I come to Detroit,
You can blame me. Don't worry.
We'll have a TDC. We'll have a TDC gala. Remind me that we're doing that, Garrett. Okay.
We'll read psalms and poems.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It'll be a tongue-in-cheek gala event, and I expect you all to dress accordingly. And I'll come out to the YMCA theme as Tim Walls.
There you go.
Yeah.
Does that mean I get to be Trump?
Yeah, you can. No, I got to be Trump.
All right, fine.
Look at my gay. Look at Garrett.
I'll keep growing my hair out. I'll just do the
loves cock. This guy actually snuggles with cock. We love him. We love the gays. The gays for Trump. Gays for Trump.
I'll keep growing my hair out. I'll come out as Kamala, and I'll just show up shit-faced.
Yeah, there you go. You get just come out with a wine bottle.
Yep,
like, Garrett's a real man. Garrett loves cock, but at least he's man enough to admit it. Tim Walls loves cock too, won't admit it.
Can't come out of the closet. What a bitch.
I want guys around me who aren't afraid to come out of the closet. Garrett's a good example.
You're afraid
Tim
somebody's
Walls.
going to fight you?
It's hilarious. Oh my God. Mattel is facing a lawsuit after misprinting the porn site for some of their kids' merchandise. Are you going to see Wicked, the movie?
No.
Or what is it, a live action bullshit?
It's just some live action, whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's all I've seen so far is a bunch of white girls crying over the movie. Like the actresses involved in it, they're holding hands and crying in interviews. Like, this is just so important to us, and we're so happy to have done this.
Yeah, I don't know what's so important about it. Do we have? Is it because there's a black chick playing the green chick?
I guess I don't know what the fuck is so important about it. It's just a movie.
Yeah, I don't really get it. It's obviously not geared for me. I had no problem with Barbie or any of that stuff. Like it's hitting its target audience, and if its target audience is there for Wicked, cool. Yeah. Well, they put out merchandise. I think we did the story a few weeks ago, Garrett, if I'm not mistaken, where they just had on the whatever Mattel's or Disney's merchandising had wicked.com, you know, for stuff.
Let me check that out.
Yeah, you go to wicked.com and it was a porn site.
Hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
Wait a second.
Yeah. Do you have the site? What pulls up? Because I think it's relevant. Yeah, just don't go anywhere except. Yeah.
No. This stays clean.
No.
I already did a little search through.
I don't want you to do a search through. I want you to just go to Wicked, the original link that I sent you.
This is the link.
Mine, no, I know what's in there, but mine on my end pulls up with a warning saying you must be 18 to enter here.
I don't have that.
No?
That's your link.
See if you go to, okay, and maybe it is. I don't know. I mean, I certainly don't have any child protections on mine.
Clean up. Wicked.
Does it come up and say like you need to be 18 to enter?
No.
Okay. Maybe you have all because of what your search history probably looks like. You probably
that it's just my computer knows I'm an adult. I do have them all turned off.
Mine, I wanted to see what it did because this story's been around for a couple weeks. So I was like, oh, okay, let's see what happens when you go to wicked.com. And it pulls up with a giant, like, hey, warning.
I mean, I can't be a warning thing on my end because I just went to the hub recently. And as soon as I got there, first thing, are you 18 or not? So I got the big warning on the hub.
So I got the big warning saying, are you 18? Click here, which obviously kids can just click here.
Yeah.
So this South Carolina mom filed a lawsuit in federal court in Los Angeles, suing the company after her daughter was exposed to hardcore, full-on nude porn depicting actual intercourse, images depicting actual intercourse. When the minor went to the website provided on the doll package, sounds like the daughter was surfing a bit.
Yeah, because this homepage has no nudity.
Let's see the homepage.
Yeah. If you go the way, and sure, I didn't get the 18 plus thing. I did get that on the hub. So maybe it's just because I had this page open before and I closed it and reopened it.
Yeah.
So it knows, but yeah, no, there's nothing, no sex acts. They're just actresses who are obviously a little scantily clad, but it's beachwear.
So it sounds like
beach friendly.
A mistake. Yeah. This is PG-13, if you will.
Yeah. Maybe rated R, but not X.
And maybe even R, but I don't even see a titty exposed.
No.
on their
That's
website. Like on
we're
the
on YouTube,
boxes.
and I don't feel bad about this.
No. So yeah, it's girls in provocative poses. I would think that's PG-13. You see stuff like that on TV, like girls
Yeah.
in bikinis, maybe laying on a bed all whorish is one thing, but I don't see an exposed skin anything. And maybe, you know what, is it possible that they've changed this homepage knowing that people like me that have never been to wicked.com in my life are going there because of this story?
Possible.
They have to be getting tremendous traffic from people.
Yeah.
The mother said the daughter showed her picture she got from the website wicked.com, which was printed on the side of her toy box instead of the correct address, which is wickedmovie.com. The mom said she and her daughter both were left horrified by the inexcusable error by the company. The suit seeks $5 million.
So here's a fun thing, by the way.
Okay.
And this is in defense of Wicked again. In order to go anywhere else on the website, I have to pay them money.
Yeah.
If I go anywhere off the homepage, it asks for money, which means somebody put some money in. Maybe her dad on the computer already had a little bit of a subscription nobody knew about.
Yeah.
The daughter was looking for a movie. It wasn't me. It was the daughter. Probably a credit card statement popped up.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something fishy about it because I don't know. I suppose if I just go to YouJizz or YouPorn or one of those.
Yeah.
I think those probably just pop up like, here you go. Or maybe it's just because I've logged in there so many times. I can't remember.
Possible.
But either way, there are sites. But going to wicked.com, I don't know. Maybe they changed it in the last 2 weeks since the story broke.
I mean, maybe, but like anything I click on, doesn't matter what it is, you get sent to a payment page.
They want you to pay right away. Yeah. There's more to this story, dude. Because
I think there's a dad right now trying to look. I need you to take the fall for this one.
Yeah, because dude, these pay ones don't let you behind the wall to see hardcore fucking intercourse scenes. Oh, that this little toddler just stumbled onto, and her and her mom like, something smells here. And $5 million. Little baby Shelly fucking saw a dick in a vagine, and you want $5 million for that?
We've all had that moment where we're watching a movie with our parents as a kid, and it's maybe a rated R movie or whatever, and that scene comes up. It happens, all right?
Yeah, it happens. I'm
not suing the studio $5 million because that scene came up.
You know, if you want to give them a care package with a bunch of toys from the movie, from Mattel and Disney or whatever, fine.
Hey, sorry that happened.
Yeah, sorry that happened. They issued an apology after learning about the misprint. The company immediately removed the doll collection, including fashion dolls, singing figurines, deluxe collectible models from the shelves of various retailers, which, by the way, collector items for sure. I would recommend, I'm sure some of you listening right now have kids. You've been doing your Christmas shopping, and this is the new movie. Check that label and see if you've got one of the lucky ones that says wicked.com on it instead of wickedmovie.com.
I'm not gonna lie, I might be looking around next time I'm at like Target or something to see if something got left on the shelf.
Hell yeah, dude. And don't open it.
No.
If you did, buy another one. Go buy another one if you really have to give that doll. And hopefully you got one of the collector series ones that are limited run. And if you can find it with wicked.com on it.
Misprints are the biggest sellers.
Years from now, your kid will thank you when you pass that down to her that this is one of the banned ones. Those are the ones you want as a collector. You're looking. Everybody's trying to make a collectible. It's the natural collectibles that are the ones you want. The ones that are
naturally rare are the ones that sell.
Exactly. The ones they go, oh fuck, and they yank it off the shelves. Those are the ones you want.
Yeah,
those are the ones you want. We deeply regret this unfortunate error and are taking immediate action to remedy this. Parents are advised that the misprinted incorrect website is not appropriate for children, but making permanent decisions about their bodies and genders is. But okay, just so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Consumers who already have the product are advised to discard the product packaging or obscure the link and make contact Mattel customer service for further info. What is Mattel's helpline going to tell you? Yeah, take a Sharpie and black it out if you're that worried about it. Or if you're that stupid too. This thing just tripled in value overnight because of this error. Don't do anything. The last thing you want to do is open it. Okay. Don't open it, leave it in the packaging, set it aside, and go buy a new doll. That's what the information line should be telling people. For real. That's what
And
they
in a
should
couple
be
of
telling
years, your kid's college will probably be paid for.
people. Yeah,
At least part of
exactly.
it. Depends on where
Exactly.
those prices go.
Hope there were enough parents out there because it gains value. Hopefully there are enough parents out there that aren't thinking this far along and they give the kids this and the kid rips open the package, you throw it away and they're stuck playing with our stupid doll. While you're one of the handful out there that were smart enough to recognize I got wicked.com on my box. It's not getting opened. I'm going to have to buy little Lisa something else for Christmas this
And a
year.
lot of them are going to get opened, and a lot of them are going to get missed. They're not going to get
Yes.
seen. Those labels are not going to get read, and that's
Yep.
going to make it even more rare.
Even more rare, especially if there was a mass yank them off the shelves.
Yep.
Hopefully you got in line first and you grabbed up some of these things for Christmas, doing some early Christmas shopping. I'm looking at you, Dan Vogt. He's one of those fucking, my Christmas shopping's done in June,
Yeah.
Hopefully he probably wouldn't do a Disney thing for anyone. He probably hates them, but you know the point, you know what you need to do. And as someone who likes collectible things,
Same here.
and Garrett, same, like, dude, those are the ones you want. Those are the ones you want. All right, let's do an email or two and
that's like
call it a
right up
day.
the alley of my kind of collectible. I love weird collectibles. It's not
Hell
one certain
yeah.
thing, but like if you look at the shelf behind me, it's a mixed bag of like things I've collected over the years that just don't have explanations. Like I have a Japanese manga Bible. Right there.
Yeah.
I don't know where I
rare.
found it. But it's one of those things where it's like it's not a super rare collectible, but it's something I've never seen before, and I had to just have.
The ones that I really like are like the fuck face. Do you know the fuck face baseball card?
Maybe.
So Google that. There's, every year at spring training, they take pictures of these baseball players. And one of the cards, the guy's got a bat on his shoulder and he's got fuck face on the knob of his bat written there. And it made it to print.
Yep.
You see it?
Right now. There it is.
I mean, dude, that's the ultimate right there. Getting an original fuck face card.
Bill Ripken.
Yeah. Cal's kid. And he's got fuck face on the end of his bat. And that's why it goes for $94.99.
Yep.
If you can buy it.
No, there's famously.
And by the way, just for context, every bat I've had from then, I write fuck face on the barrel.
Just in case you go pro.
Yeah, in case I go pro. No, I just do. I write fuck face on the knob of it because of that card.
Yeah.
I would encourage all of you to do the same. Have your own Billy Ripken fuck face bat.
Yep.
But what was that? A Donruss or a Fleer card? What was
it?
That?
It was a. Let me check.
Tops.
Fleer. It's a Fleer.
Fleer. Yeah. Yeah. I guarantee those things got snatched up. And if you can get yourself one, it's why a Billy Ripken card's worth $100.
Yep.
Those errors are the ones you want. Those error cards are where that shit's at.
No, one of my favorites is Magic the Gathering's a card game I play a lot. It's a big old nerd thing.
Yeah,
but back in 1993, they had a card that they released that was a little too powerful, so they took it off the market. That card is now worth, according to the TCG Player, which is the kind of people who value all these things, $10,220.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because of how powerful and rare they are. And that's like at a 9.5. Oh, no, 9.5 grading, which is kind of the higher up out of scale 10, is $25,000.
Yeah. Yeah. These are the ones, because here's the thing, what they're all doing now, and you need to be careful when you go shopping for cards. If you're buying box sets and at cheaper places, you're not getting the same cards. Yeah. And this is a racket. Knowing how much the collector game is nowadays, every card company knows this. And so, having ones that they didn't intend to be collectible. Here's my point. If you go to Target and buy a box set of baseball, you're not even in the possibility of getting one of the really rare LeBron. There's 4 of these in the world. You're not even in the running for those.
No.
So there's all kinds of tricks and games they play. There's so many fakes, but when the mistake happens that you weren't intending,
it's a natural rarity.
The natural rarity of it, because they're all playing the game now of having everything's limited edition, everything is collectible, collector's item. It doesn't mean shit half the time.
And which one of those
So
rare cards went to which box? Because those cards are usually, especially with like Pokemon Magic and stuff, they're very random in the box. So one of your
right.
cards could be the misprint in that series.
Right. And this is a newer game. Back in the 80s, they weren't playing this game where the rarity happened. It's why I
Yep.
treasure my Too Fast for Love edition 1. It's got to be edition 1, not edition 2 or 3 of the
Yep.
leather records print of Motley Crue's Too Fast for Love. It was my white whale, and it cost me $1,000 to get a hold of it. And a lot of research to make sure I got the right fucking one. Black and white with the Vince Neil blown out hair on the back that was altered. And what made that rare is they only printed a few hundred copies of that, and they gave them out at concerts when they were playing in bars in 1980, 81,
Yeah,
before they made it, before they were signed to Elektra Records. They did it themselves. And so if you can find one of those, like how many people kept of the 400 that were made total, how many kept those originals through the years, through fucking fires and houses and floods and moves? There's not many. They don't know exactly, but there's not many.
Yep. And how many of them are still in great condition? Yeah, like you just said, like
Yeah.
that. But I have a problem recently where there's this rapper I've loved my entire life, MF Doom, and I bought a collector's box set of his Operation Doomsday 32 inch.
You're
like,
rapper.
painted
You're a
vinyls.
gangster fag guy.
Yeah.
More than anything. Gangster fag's your guy.
Yeah, Gangster Fag's pretty good too. Don't worry.
Yeah,
he's
he's
kind of in
awesome.
that style. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But MF Doom died in 2020 unexpectedly at the age of 50. So that box that I had and I've been listening to for like the last 3 years, I played those records a bunch of times, currently is now $1,000 still in the packaging. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should have bought two.
We all have the fuck
Yep.
story.
Should have bought
we
two.
all have it where it's like, God, why did I put this in my spokes? To make it go when I was riding my bicycle. I had 1,000. Dude, I had so many cards that have tremendous value.
No, you want it. This is gonna be funny. This right here, this little pad.
No one gives a shit about your gay Doom stuff. Jesus.
But that little thing on the right, that little picture is actually stuck inside the poster right there. That's what it is.
And is that valuable, or did you ruin it?
I already ruined it. No, it's already ruined. That box has been in there for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I took the cover off and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'll slide this in a poster cover and leave it there. And
that's the mistake.
Fucked it all up.
That's the mistake. But those accidental ones, the ones you don't see coming, the ones the company didn't purposely claim to be collectors.
Didn't see his death coming.
Yeah. Yeah. No, why would you? Yeah, it's interesting. All right. Emails. Let's see. Stevie Wonder. We were talking about Stevie Wonder. Was that with Dave Landau the other day?
Yeah.
When Stevie Wonder came. Yeah. Yes, he can see, just not well. My mom was a nurse whose friend taught him Braille, and they played piano together when he was young. Interesting.
Wow, what a connection!
I believe it. That would make sense. There's a lot of people that are legally blind, technically blind. Now he's got the googly fucking milk
you can
toast.
Still have like a
eyes.
little bit, like it could be just this blurred out fucking, like you have a tiny bit, so he could see something maybe coming at him, or like a fan coming at him, or something.
Yeah,
just shapes, but he doesn't make out any definition of what it is. He just sees the shapes coming at him.
Right, which I don't doubt that Stevie Wonder can't see, but there's no doubt. Jay and I went through a lot of the evidence at the time of him, catching mic stands or appearing to know where he was on stage, blah, blah, blah. Chocolate and Roops. This from James. It's all bullshit. We had a dachshund that ate 7.5 pounds of Harry and David chocolates. He wasn't himself. He wasn't himself for 4 days, but he was totally fine. Yeah.
7.5 pounds.
That's a lot of chocolate. James, what are you doing with 7.5 pounds of chocolate?
That's another good question.
You know what I mean? The chocolate one, look into it further. I hear people all the time like, oh my God, don't give your chocolate, even a morsel of chocolate to your dog. It's not what you think.
Your dog's going to get the shits and be a little weird for a minute.
Yeah. If they eat enough, they're not going to get it from the fact is the chocolate you have is not real chocolate.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up there. Please. Yeah. The Amazon link, every little bit helps the show. radiofor1.com. Go there, click on the Amazon link, shop away. I know you are doing your Christmas shopping. It doesn't charge anymore, so it's a good way to help out the show. And also Patreon, patreon.com/TDC podcast. We do an extra show. We'll do one tomorrow. That's always fun. I feel like we're able to do a little bit more on
We're not
those
on
because
YouTube, so we can
we're
get a
not
little
on
views.
YouTube. So if we can, anyways,
Look, you think we showed the homepage of Wicked here on YouTube. Wait until we get into the Patreon.
yeah, I don't know what
I
the
might throw up
line
some
is.
credit card.
I think we can get in trouble on Patreon, but I don't know what the line is. I don't
I think
think
it's just porn. I
porn.
think just
Yeah,
that and hardcore like swearing racist stuff.
I
Like
don't know
it's,
what they do about music. Like if we play a song, like I would have loved to play a piece of YMCA while we were having our discussion about
yeah. I think it still
Trump.
runs under fair use as long as we're kind of talking about it, pausing every once in a while, and
Well,
like
yeah,
adding something to the song, not just playing the music. We should be
right.
okay.
And getting 8 to 30 seconds or whatever the fair use is for news
We might
stories.
be
We
able to
could
get a
have
little bit
done that,
further.
but I mean like playing it as a bed underneath us while we're talking. And
We might be able to do that because Patreon, I don't think, has bots like YouTube does that are scrolling through, like listening for that.
yeah,
So, if you play YMCA or something on your show, YouTube will have a bot that picks that up and shuts your show
yeah.
down real quick.
And it's recorded. It's not live. So it's not
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we test that tomorrow and just see what they do when we just post a show up there. But yeah, it's not on YouTube. It's not on Twitter. It's not on Rumble. So
Nope.
yeah,
It's
we'll see.
exclusive.
It's exclusive to our fine Patreon listeners and viewers. We also put the video up so you can view it just like this and whatnot. So thank you to everybody that's already a member, and hopefully more join soon. Garrett, have a great rest of the night. Say hi to Marina for me.
Will do.
And I will